Hi friends, welcome to my channel, Yaya's Heart Tarot. Today is Wednesday, September 14th, and I'll be bringing you midweek messages. These are messages to help you navigate through any obstacles that may be cropping up in your week. I ran across a spread that I think will work well for this. I wanted to try a new spread today. So we're going to give this a shot. It may require just a little modification, but I think it will guide us fairly well. So I'm hoping that that's the case. So let's get started right away. We're going to do two readings today. Group number one is Amethyst. This Amethyst cluster. And it's kind of fascinating, and I love this. I picked these stones ahead, and then I picked the cards intuitively afterwards. And Amethyst is purple, the card is purple. This is Smoky Quartz with Aegerine, and Aegerine is green, and the card that came up for that group is green, so I kind of love that. Anyway, sorry. Group one. Group one is Amethyst cluster, and the card, My Health Story and the Law of Attraction. And group two, as I mentioned, is Smoky Quartz with Aegerine. It's difficult to see the color. It's a very dark green, but it runs through here. And the card is, the Law of Attraction is responding to the ideas I imagine. So take a moment to focus on the two groups, decide which one calls to you, and I will link each group below in the description with the timestamp. So just drop down to the description, click on the timestamp for the group that you would like to listen to, and it'll take you directly to your group. Certainly if you want to listen to both groups, that's fine as well. But if you need to pause the video to make a decision, go ahead and do that. Or go ahead and just click on your timestamp, and I will see you at your reading. Hi group one, this is your reading, the Amethyst group. The first question, Spirit, that we would like to get messages on is, what is group one trying to navigate this week? What is group one trying to navigate for their week? What is group one navigating? Okay, so group one, you are trying to keep your cool at work while you are just swamped. You are under a really heavy workload, and you are really struggling to just keep your head above water, to stay focused, to stay calm, to not get overly anxious or upset or frustrated. So that's what's going on for your week. Just trying to stay calm at work while you're really getting swamped. Thank you, Spirit, for those messages. And next, what has been distracting group one? What is distracting them this week? Okay, so we got the Six of Cups, the Strength card, and the Sun. Well, what's distracting you is you don't want to be at work. Plain and simple. You would just as soon, there's something outside of work that is really holding your attention, or that is calling to you, that's calling to you very much. I don't know if that is something specific that, maybe a friend is unexpectedly in town and you'd really like to spend time with them, but you have to be at work. Or it could be that you just, summer is coming to a close. Maybe you have an opportunity to take a little mini vacation or something, and you would really love to do that, but there's just so much going on at work that you are having a hard time. You just don't feel like you could get away. So that is what is, sorry gang, that is what is calling to you, excuse me, that's what's distracting you this week, is that you would just as soon be elsewhere besides work. So thank you for that message, Spirit. And what is preventing Group 1 from seeing the way out of their dilemma, their challenges? What is preventing them from finding the way out or seeing the way out? Okay, so we got the Knight of Cups, we got the Magician, and we got the Five of Pentacles. So you're getting caught up in your emotions. You are, I mean, obviously with this workload that you're trying to deal with, and just working really hard to keep focused and get stuff done, but being distracted by wishing that you were elsewhere. What is really keeping you from seeing your way to get through all this is you're feeling kind of like the victim. You're feeling like you're being asked to do more than what you should be. There's more expected of you than what you think is fair. And basically your mindset is, I'm only one person. I am only one person. I can only do so much. And you are just feeling like your emotions are really, really starting to run away with you, because you're really, really getting just sort of almost trapped in your own emotions about how unfair this is and how this is just too much to ask of one person. So that's what's preventing you from seeing the way out of this. So from where can, thank you, Spirit, for that message, and where can Group 1 draw hope to find their way out? From where can they draw hope or draw insight to be able to see their way out? Okay, we got a lot of cards here, and I'm not sure that all of these are going to apply, because a lot of them sort of flew out all at once here. Okay, so we've got the Six of Wands and the Page of Pentacles, and those definitely were supposed to be here. We got the Seven of Wands, we got the Nine of Swords, we got the Tower card, and we've got the Hanged Man. So, from where can you draw hope to find your way through this? Well, a couple of things jump out at me right at once. Both of these characters on these cards are upside down. So I think this is saying that you need to flip your attitude or flip your perception of what things are right now. You've got this idea that there is just an incredible load, just a lot coming at you right now, and that you are just really, really being harmed by it. But in the truth of it, you actually have the upper hand in this situation, and you have the tools to flip the script. So I think that really what this is saying is that this workload that you feel like is being imposed upon you, I feel like this is, the Tower is saying you can get out if you want to. the Hanged Man is saying that you are staying within this situation and you don't have to. You could leave it. If you really don't want, if this distraction is important to you, if not being at work is really that important to you, you have the ability to step away from work. You can do that. You've got like enough seniority, or you have you have the ability, you have the tools to be able to step away if it's really important to you. But you are laboring under the idea that you have to endure all of this heaviness and all of this. You feel like you're trapped. You feel like you've got to do the work. You are resenting it. You're terribly resenting it, but you really, really feel like you're trapped. You feel like you just it's that age-old, I have to stay and do a good job, or I will, I'll be looked down upon. But the truth of it is that the situation that you're in right now, you could very easily step away if you wanted to and then come back to this work at a later time. No one would hold that against you. Absolutely no one is going to hold that against you, and it's really not going to cause that much problems for anybody else. This is more in your head. It's so much more that it's just in your head that you have got to stick with this and you've got to do this, and if you don't do it right now and just push everything else aside, the whole world's going to fall apart. But and that's what this card is this is your mindset, that if you don't get this done, then everything's just going to fall apart, and it will just cascade down to everything else, and it will make everything else a mess. But that's not the truth of it. That's in your head. That's your thought process. So the truth of it is, if you really, really need to get away, if it's really important for your psyche, for your soul, for your well-being to get away from this for a bit, then you have the opportunity to do that. You have the power to do that. So that is the enlightenment that you need to see, to understand that there is hope to this, to getting away from this situation. So thank you, Spirit, for that. What does Group 1 need to address before they can move ahead? What does Group 1 need to address before they can move ahead? Okay, so we got the Devil, we got the Ace of Swords, we got the Nine of Cups, and we got the Two of Pentacles. Okay, so the Devil, again, we're back to, this is in your head. You're making the situation into what it is. You are making it, in your mind, you have no choice. You can't possibly step away, or the whole place will fall into ruins if you're not there to complete whatever this job is. But that's in your head. That's just a self-limiting thought pattern that you have. Honestly, you have the capability to balance this situation. You can fix some things, and that's what this Ace of Swords is telling us. There are some things that you can do, that you can kind of move around, that you can clarify, that you can cut away some of the extra that can wait, or that is really not all that necessary to do anyway. It's just sort of some extra stuff that you thought would make things look better, or it might be that you have sort of a perfectionist attitude, or a little bit of OCD. You need things to be done a certain way. They absolutely have to be done perfectly. Everything has to be perfect. Every T is crossed, every I is dotted. It just has to be, and that's more your hang up, not the truth of it. So the truth of the matter is that you can balance out this situation by cutting away some of the extra stuff that isn't really imperative, that's not critical. You can either set some of that aside for now, or you can just not do it. It's not going to be the end of the world if every little detail is not perfect. This isn't the kind of job that really matters. This is something that it needs to get done, and it needs to get done well, but it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be a showpiece. So you can balance that out to where you can bring yourself a great deal of more freedom and happiness, and you can step away for, maybe you can take a day off or half of a day or something that would be enough to satisfy this need outside of work. So that's what you need to take care of before you can move ahead. So you need to come to grips with the fact that you don't have to do every single thing exactly perfectly right, and take a lot of extra time to do that. You can just get done what needs to get done, and that will allow you time to take some time for yourself, which is very important. We've got the Five of Swords on the bottom of the deck. You don't have to kill yourself to do the best, to have the most, to show everybody that you're the best. It's not necessary, especially when there is something that you really want to do, but you need to make time for it. So Spirit, once this is done, what's the most useful step that Group 1 can take? What is the next most useful step that Group 1 can take once they address this need to be perfect and make some time for themselves? What's the next most useful step for them to take? Okay. Okay, so one of the cards that we got is the Three of Cups. So the Three of Cups is celebrate. Celebrate. And the Queen of Pentacles is just being, enjoying your surroundings, enjoying all of the things that you have. And the Star is, making your dreams come true. So in a small way, stepping away from work and doing whatever this is that's just calling you away, that's calling to you, that really feels like it would be something good to do, to celebrate, is making your dreams come true, and just really enjoying your life, rather than slaving away and regretting and being angry because you're missing out on something. The next step to do is enjoy. Take the time, enjoy your life, celebrate. And so that's your reading, Group 1, for your midweek messages. I hope that this helps. Take some time for yourself. Seriously, it sounds like you need to, and it sounds like you deserve it. So let's see what this lesson card says. My health story and the law of attraction. Each and every component that makes up your life experience is drawn to you by the powerful law of attraction's response to the thoughts you think and the story you tell about your life. Remember? The story you tell about your life. Your money and financial assets, your body's state of wellness, clarity, flexibility, size and shape, your work environment, how you are treated, work satisfaction and rewards, indeed, the very happiness of your life experience in general, is all happening because of the story that you tell. So, remember that. Don't get stuck in that story that you're telling yourself. Tell yourself that you can finish whatever needs to get finished. You deserve to have a little time off to have fun, and take it. So there you go, Group 1. There's your reading. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and that you do that whatever it is that makes you happy this week. Take a little time. You can do it. You deserve it, and you can make it happen. Talk to you later. Bye. Hi, Group 2. This is your reading, the Smoky Quartz with Aegerine. The first messages that we'd like to get, Spirit, please, are what is Group 2 trying to navigate? What is Group 2 trying to navigate this week? What is group 2 trying to navigate this week? Well, I guess this one card says it all. You evidently are trying to navigate something that is burning out of control. You are losing control of whatever it is that is happening in your week. Spirit, can we get some clarification on that? Any more specifics on that, please? What group 1 or group 2 is trying to navigate this week? Okay, let's see here. Okay. So, there is a lot of confusion that you're dealing with. There's a lot of people involved in this, and there is someone who should be overseeing some project that you are involved with, or should be handling some situation, or at least helping out to handle a situation, but they're not. They are basically non-existent. They're either keeping to themselves and not coming around when they should to help, or they're gone. There may be somebody who's like gone on vacation or out sick or something at work, or this could be just someone that you would normally depend on to come in and help when things get out of hand, which they are really out of hand, both of these cards. But they're not there. And this is someone who probably is a woman, and she is someone who has some authority or some insight or some wisdom. They're the ones who know how to do things, or they're the manager or something like that. But this individual who should be helping and overseeing things to try and get things back on track is gone for some reason. They may be just avoiding the situation, they may just be checked out, or they may physically be gone. But that's the situation that you're trying to navigate this week. And so what has distracted group 2 this week? Spirit, what's distracting group 2? What is distracting them? Okay, well, there's a relationship that is sort of running away, or that is moving too fast. So there's some relationship, and it doesn't necessarily mean a love relationship, although it certainly could be, but this relationship is either it's moving too fast for your liking, or it's sort of going off the rails. It's not taking a direction that you expected it to. And so it may not have anything to do with the situation that you're dealing with here, but it is definitely pulling you away in your thoughts. You're thinking about it a great deal, and that may even have something to do with why everything is kind of getting all confused and distracted and out of hand in this other situation, because you're so distracted from this relationship situation. Again, this isn't necessarily a romantic relationship. This could be a business partnership that's being proposed, and it's more than you're really ready to take on, but it's just sort of taken on a life of itself. This could be a friendship where you and this friend that has been your friend forever and ever and ever suddenly had a falling out. There's something going on in their life that you don't agree with, maybe, and so the two of you have gotten in a fight about it. But whatever the situation is, there's some relationship with you and probably one other person, or perhaps you and a couple of other people, but typically just the two of you. And there's something about it that is that's not going as planned, and it is really, really distracting you. That's what's distracting you this week. So Spirit, thank you for that message. What is preventing Group 2 from seeing the way out of their situation this week? What is preventing them from seeing their way out? What is preventing Group 2 from seeing their way out of their situation this week? Whether that be the relationship situation or the out of control situation. Okay, so we have got the King of Cups, the Four of Wands, the Ten of Cups, and the Death card. So this relationship, whatever it is something that is very much a long-term commitment for you. You very much love the other individual in this relationship. So even if this is a business arrangement, I'm getting the impression that it's not like you've decided to go into business with some person who's an investor or something. This is something more like you've decided to start a business with a friend, someone that you're very close with. It could also be, a relationship with a loved one, a spouse, significant other. It could be a relationship with a best friend. Again, any of those types of relationships are a possibility. But whatever this relationship is, it is very emotional for you. It is something that you're very, very emotionally invested in, because of that, because this relationship is so important to you and has been important for some time, this is a very, I want to say, like, permanent relationship. This is a relationship that this isn't just a flash in the pan. This isn't just something that just recently came about. This has been a long, ongoing relationship for you. And because of that, there is something that has changed that really needs to be let go of, but you can't see that. You're blinded from the fact, or you refuse to recognize the fact that there's something that has to be let go of. I don't think it's the relationship itself. I think that what it is that needs to be let go of is whatever this relationship is currently involved in that is not working out the way that you can agree with. So again, if this is a business relationship that you're trying to start up with a friend and it's going in a direction that doesn't feel right to you, or if this is a love relationship, this is a significant other, but they are they're taking a direction with their life that is that you don't agree with, that you can't be on board with, that feels like it's harmful to either you or to them, and so you can't support it, something like that. Whatever this conflict is in this relationship, whatever it is that is not, that you're not comfortable with, that's created this rift, has to be, you have to let go of it. And if the person in the relationship is not willing to let go of that, then you're going to have to remove yourself from the whole thing, at least for the time being, until this kind of blows over. So that's what's the importance of the relationship, is what's keeping you from being able to see that you've got to let go of whatever the situation is, even though it involves this person that you love very much. But ultimately, it's going to end up hurting the relationship more than if you were to go ahead. I mean, if you were to go ahead with the situation, it will end up hurting the relationship more than it would if you just get out now and set some boundaries, make yourself known, just you need to be able to see that you can't just go along with this, because it's going to end up hurting both of you, and certainly the relationship. Spirit, thank you for that message. And from where can Group 2 draw hope to find their way out of this? Where can they draw hope or insight to see their way out of this situation? Okay, so all of these cards, the World, the 7 of Brooms in this case, and the 4 of Balloons, all of these cards deal with seeing things from a higher perspective. You know, this one has out here in space, the spaceship is out here in space, seeing things from a higher perspective. This character is above the others and seeing them from a higher perspective. And this guy, obviously floating up on the balloons, is seeing things from a higher perspective. So there is a different perspective that from which you can draw hope. We also got the 10 of Swords, which is about being harmed from the outside. So I'm not exactly sure what this message is. So Spirit, can we please get some clarification? Why is the 10 of Swords here? Why is this card here? What is this telling me about this higher perspective? Okay, so in response we got the 5 of Swords, which is about regrets. Oh, okay. So what this is saying is that before you get to the point that you regret this, this situation, this action that's being taken right now, you need to step back and see this all from a higher perspective. See not only the business proposal or the the action that your loved one is taking that you don't agree with, or whatever the situation is that is causing this conflict. You need to step back and see the bigger picture about it. See on down the road what is going to happen. Put yourself in this position. Put yourself into the situation if you were to go along with it. Step back and actually play through it in your mind what you think will happen if you go along with this situation. What will happen to the relationship, what will happen to whatever the action is that's being taken, whether that's, again, the new business angle or, just your loved one putting themselves at risk. But really, really step back and get a higher perspective, get a much bigger overview of what the entire situation is, and that's going to give you the clarity that you need to be able to see that in fact you do need to let this go. Even though this relationship is important to you and it will be not well received by the other party, if you do step away from whatever this is, they're going to think that you're not supporting them, and you know that, and you are afraid of that. You don't want them to be hurt. You don't want them to be angry with you and to walk away from this relationship. But what you need to do is to get a perspective, a bigger perspective of what's actually going to happen on down the road if you do go along with this, and see that it will completely destroy the relationship. And the other party will see that as well. Either you will be able to show them that on down the road, or they'll see it for themselves. But they'll be able to come to that conclusion, I think, and understand that your stepping away was not because you don't love them, but it was just that the situation wasn't going to work for anybody. So thank you, Spirit, for that message. And what does Group 2 need to address before they can move on with this, before they can move ahead? What do they need to address before they can move ahead? Okay, we got the 5 of Cups, the 9 of Wands, and the Magician. The 5 of Cups. Okay, so the 9 of Wands and the 5 of Cups. So what you need to address before you can move ahead with this is this: there have been issues in the past that have left a mark, that have wounded you or wounded this other individual. And so I think that is playing into you going along with whatever this situation is that you really don't agree with, you really don't feel comfortable with, but because there's been wounding in the past, and this may be something that happened to the other individual in this relationship and perhaps from you. So you may feel some guilt about this past situation, or it could be that perhaps in the past, if you had stepped away and not supported this other individual, they pushed you away, and that caused you to have wounding and heartache, and you don't want to see that happen again. So what needs to be addressed is that you need to heal that past wounding or come to grips with it and understand that it's a completely different situation. That holding on to that previous situation and moving it forward and overlaying it over the current situation is covering up, it's muddling up, it's muddying up, understanding the current situation and what will come of it if things proceed as they are now. So that previous wounding, whether it's your wounding or their wounding or both, needs to be understood, and you need to realize that they're not the same. They're maybe not completely different, but they're separate. They're not attached to one another, and what happened then is not going to impact what's happening here. And I shouldn't say it's not going to impact it. It may, but it's not a foregone conclusion. It's not determined by what happened in the past. This is different. The reactions are going to be different. The circumstances are different. So by holding on to that past wounding and being fearful of the current situation because of what's happened in the past, you're keeping yourself from changing the situation into something that will work. And that's another thing that you have the capability to do. You don't necessarily have to completely step away from the situation. It may just mean that there are some things that need to be compromised or changed or revamped a little bit. And so by disconnecting from the emotion of past wounds, you can see the situation more clearly, like we spoke about here, and you can change it a bit or fix it a little, or collaborate with each other a little bit to change it to something that will work out much better. So Spirit, once Group 2 has done this, what is the next best step for them to take? What is the best next step for Group 2 to take at this point? Okay. Okay. So we got the Judgment card and we got the Six of Pentacles. Both of these cards are potentially about making a judgment. Obviously the Judgment card is, but the Six of Pentacles is also about judging who is worthy. And then we got the Three of Cups and we got the Nine of Pentacles. So the Three of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles. The Three of Cups is about celebrating with others, and the Nine of Pentacles is about having abundance, appreciating what you have, and enjoying what you have. So the next best step for you is to judge for yourself what is going to bring you to the happiest place, this place of celebration and this place of abundance. And deciding where to draw the line, basically, with this other individual in this relationship. And so it's going to be, this one here deals very much with weighing who's deserving and who's not, and what's right and what's wrong. The Judgment card here also. So the next best step for you here is going to be really figuring out for yourself what is going to bring you to this best place where things work out. Whether that means completely stepping away from this situation and just letting it blow over and sort of go away. Maybe this is just a big pie in the sky idea that the other individual is very excited about, but once they get past this initial excitement, they might realize that, oh, this is never going to work out, or this was way too big. Sorry, I shouldn't have suggested that we do something that crazy. Whatever it is. But the next best step for you is to decide for you what it is that is going to, how to approach this, whether to completely step away from it or whether to try and compromise the situation a little bit and just change it up so that it works better. So that's what your next best step is with that. So that's your reading, group 2. Let's take a look at your lesson card and see what it says. It says the law of attraction is responding to the ideas I imagine. The reason more things do not change more quickly is because most people are giving their attention predominantly to what is. In order to effect change, you must look beyond what is. That's what we talked about here. Getting this overview to be able to see in the future what potentially could happen. It slows you down tremendously if you need to see evidence of something before you can believe it. But when you understand that the law of attraction will respond to your imagined idea as quickly as to an observed idea, then you can move quickly into new creations without having to wait for someone to accomplish it first. So, decide what that new creation is going to be. Imagine that new creation. Imagine whatever this is going to be in its best form. That's what you need to do here at the end. This last step that we talked about was figuring out what's the best form for whatever it is that is trying to manifest itself here. And this Magician card talks about that, trying to manifest. So take a higher view, get a better picture of what you want to manifest going forward with this individual, and then work to bring that into reality. So kind of a heavy reading for your week, but I think the main point here is just to make sure that you don't just dive into something that, even though it's with someone that you love very much and it would mean a lot to them potentially, don't just jump in with both feet when it doesn't feel right to you. So I hope this helps you through your week. I greatly appreciate your being here to spend this time with me in the middle of the week, and I hope the rest of your week goes well, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.